Like, it's so silly. What's up with the NAACP Travel Advisor for black folks visiting Florida? I mean, they do that. They do that all the time. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's like actually a. I feel like nobody should visit Florida if I'm being real. I feel like Florida is a liability for everybody. Um, don't know if it's don't know if it is like
Let's
anything different than the average Florida experience. But the NAACP, I mean, there's a history for it.
go back in time to the
Here,
1950s when Jim Crow laws were used to enforce segregation in the South. And being an African American during the Jim Crow era was far from easy. In fact, for millions of African Americans who traveled during that era had to be cautious and resourceful, using things like the Negro Motorist Green Book as a guide to help black travelers find businesses that would accept black customers. Active
like my controversial take is, I mean, this obviously was super valid and a necessity in a dark period in American history. But do I think that like Florida is exceptionally terrifying for black people currently? Like, not necessarily. It's just like I don't think like a black family that's going to Disney World is going to experience anything that's like out of the ordinary from like any other part of America that they would visit. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is. Obviously, there are certain towns you shouldn't go to in every state, right? But it's not like a green book situation. Matt Walsh is going bananas mode over it, though. Of course, like if you're in the big cities, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's just like here. Let's finish this green book, and then we'll
Activist
get to it.
Clarence Fort remembers the Green Book after organizing sit-ins and marches for civil rights in Tampa.
Each town you went into, it tells you where you could sleep, where you could eat without being harassed.
Victor Green, a black U.S. postal worker from New York, started the Green Book, and by the 1930s, the Green Book grew with listings in every state.
We had quite a few here in Tampa, but as integration came about, a lot of them had to close down. They couldn't compete with the other merchants.
The Jackson House on Zack Street was one of the listed safe havens in Tampa, known for housing black families and famous guests like Ella Fitzgerald and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and is now undergoing restoration.
It's going to have rooms dedicated to the singers and the performers that stayed there, like Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, who wrote A Tisket a Tasket in the House.
The Green Book stopped publication in the 1960s, and now we're seeing the next generation honor the legacy of encouraging financial support within the black community.
Black humans have very much been supportive of every single other human businesses, period. One of the easiest things you can do is make sure that you start to spend your money intentionally, recognizing that equity isn't pie. If I get a piece, it doesn't mean you don't get a piece.
Hillary and Joshua launched the Green Book of Tampa Bay as a website directory similar to Yelp, where you can find everything from black-owned real estate agents to retailers and restaurants.
It'll pop up businesses in your area, or if you want to search for another area, people can enter businesses. So it's just really updated, user-friendly, accessible.
Taking things beyond the internet, the Green Book of Tampa Bay is encouraging investment in black communities through its long-standing Buy Black Fridays campaign, where consumers are encouraged to seek and support black-owned businesses at least one day per week and share their experience.
Okay. Yeah. I don't. Here. Let's look at Ron DeSantis dismissing the NCAA NAACP's Florida Travel Advisory stunt, cites record high tourist travel. For the record, like the Green Book was a mechanism for survival at the time, and the NAACP's Florida Travel Advisory is just it's whatever. I don't think anybody like. I mean, there's Like, I think Florida is probably worse off for the black people living inside of Florida than it is for fucking tourists, like black families that are going to Florida to travel. You know what I mean? Like, infinitely worse, as a matter of fact. Does that make sense? That's what it is. That's the reality, especially for like, especially for young black men and women, children going through school, the schooling system currently as it stands. If you want to get a better education on your own history and what role you played in American societal development, one of the worst impacts of Ron Desantis has been to absolutely eviscerate the correct assessment of history, absolutely destroy it. I mean, you will not get that. They call it CRT, anti-woke education. Hack the rich, thank you for the 5, get the subs. And that has just destroyed any kind of like honest assessment of things that happen in American history.
Is issuing a travel advisory for the state of Florida after Governor Ron Desantis pushes back on diversity, equity, and inclusion in his state.
It says, quote, under the leadership of Governor DeSantis, the state of Florida has become hostile to black Americans and in direct conflict with the democratic ideals that our union was founded upon. The NAACP hereby issues a travel advisory to African Americans and other people of color regarding the hostility towards African Americans.
I don't know. I don't think racists are making sure that black people are Floridians before being racist to them. What are you saying? No, like, I'm just saying, dude, I'm sorry. What do you think? You think a fucking, like I said, you think a black family that's going to like Disney World or going to Miami is going to be like relentlessly harassed by like racists who find them? Like, is that what you think is going on? Like, what the fuck are you saying? Okay. I can't believe I'm like, even ostensibly or even marginally siding with the fucking Fox News people on this. But like, no, the NAACP does stuff like this all the time, okay? They do it all the time. It's just like, Florida is not any more additionally more racist than any other fucking American state, okay? You can find racists everywhere. This is a white supremacist country. I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Americans in Florida. Fox News contributor David Webb joins us now.
Yeah, it is. It is a performative stance. Yeah, it is. You know, it is what it is. Florida is banning Black history, though. It shows some extra contempt. Yeah, that's why I said it's worse off for the black people living in Florida that are getting an education in Florida public schools, that are in the space that they are cultivating in Florida that is anti-black, and not tourists that are going down to Florida for like a weekend or some shit. This is such a, I'm not gonna lie, this is such a dumb conversation. Like, if you told, come on, dude. It's like, it's a ridiculous conversation.
Now, David, my friend, always good to see you. So you're a black man living in Florida. What'd you think of this?
Fortunately, the NAACP is not the State Department, so their travel advisories mean nothing. But let's look at a couple of numbers that matter. For instance, 16.9%. That's the percentage of the Florida population that identifies.
Do you think the symbolism for the NAACP to make the statement is impactful at all? No, it doesn't. No, and it's not. They've done this before. Like, what are you talking about? They do it every now and then. And I don't mean like in like the 60s. I mean like recently. The NAACP, the NAACP has done this under the Trump administration as well, if I remember correctly. From today, white supremacists were seen again at the intersection of Lee Road and Orlando Avenue. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, I know. These guys are a genuine threat, dude. Come on. They are, but it's like 3 fucking groypers with like Punisher masks is not the reason why the NAACP issued this warning. Holy fuck. It is infinitely scarier that you have people in positions of power that have these kinds of fucking attitudes. You have people who, the teacher or the principal at your school has similar perspectives to fucking these donkeys. It's not these donkeys that are the issue. It's the hidden white supremacy that is baked into every institution in this goddamn country that is the issue in America. It's the legislation. It's the crippling of black communities deliberately. It is the criminal justice system that has created a structure that is built around the continuation of slavery of black and brown bodies and poor people in general. Those are the issues in the United States of America, not some fucking, sack of shit who posted too much on fucking forums and then went and purchased a goddamn black sun flag off of Amazon to wave it around at this like dumbass Florida suburb, okay? Like, sometimes I feel like people are being ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know why you guys want me to say things like that I just personally don't fucking believe in. You know what I mean? Yeah, NAACP issued its first ever travel advisory for a U.S. state under the Trump administration. This is what I was thinking of. They did it for Missouri. When the Missouri State Legislature passed Senate Bill 43 in June, the Missouri NAACP president, Nimrod Chappell, was at a loss. He had met with lawmakers who testified in opposition to the bill. Decided to take an unconventional step. The Missouri NAACP issued a travel advisory warning visitors that their civil rights would be violated if they enter the state. Last week, the National Convention of the organization officially recognized the warning, the first of its kind from the group. The advisory aims to make visitors aware of the string of troubling events in Missouri. In May, an African-American died while being held in jail. He had never been arrested. Threats of violence and discrimination had gone unaddressed on school campuses, the NAACP said. And a 2016 report from the state attorney general's office found that African Americans were stopped by traffic officers 75% more than Caucasian drivers and at a rate disproportionate to their makeup of the state's population. The NAACP, under these metrics, should be issuing a travel advisory to New York City. Because guess what? This happens in every part of this fucking country because, newsflash, this country was designed around white supremacist fundamentals by dudes who owned slaves, okay? What this is describing is like every big American city. Every big American city has damn near identical issues and also identical disparities. This is a significant problem if you're a person who can't travel in a state that ostensibly your tax dollars are used to pay the road in. It is a strategic political move by the NAACP with the whole Disney thing going on. It's not practical and it's just for the news cycle. Yes, exactly. That is precisely what is going on. That is precisely why they're doing it. They do it because they think that this could be, create some level of like political pressure by, liberal instruments. Some states are definitely worse. New York got racist, but it's definitely way safer to be black there than Miami, Florida. What? I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know why you're saying this. Like, I genuinely don't get it. I don't. Miami is not, like, Miami is a multicultural, incredibly diverse area that is an urban environment and was Democrat for a very fucking long time until recently, and still holds a lot of those Democratic values, liberal values, if you want. That's a crazy fucking take. I'm sorry. You might have had personal experiences with racism in Miami. Like you said, I don't agree with you on this. I lived in Miami for 5 years. The amount of racist shit that happened is ridiculous. But like literally live anywhere else, and you will see that it is. Look up the histories of black communities in Miami. Oh my God. My point is not that it is easy to be black in Miami. My point is that, and I did go to UM. Yes, I did. I lived in Miami for a year, my first year living in America. But again, I'm a white guy, so perhaps I am privileged and don't even understand what is going on. But it does feel a little fucking crazy to me that I'm over here acting like Miami is like worse off than the structural forms of white supremacy that black people experience on a daily fucking basis in every part of this country. And then ultimately, when you say Miami is Miami is a exceptionally racist place for black people, you act like, no black or brown people live in, Hialeah or any other parts of the adjacent communities in Miami, first and foremost. And you also make it seem like you make it seem like it's like exceptionally racist in comparison to any other place. I don't know. It's not more racist than say Oklahoma. Yeah. Or I'll take it one step further. It's not more racist than, like, I don't know, a fucking white suburb in New Hampshire. Okay? Like, does that make sense? Do you understand? Or Long Island, Miami's probably less racist than Boston. Exactly. That's what I mean. It's just like, it's weird to hyper focus on this. Huntington Beach. Ooh, great example. You want to know? You want to know a racist ass place that is significantly more racist than Miami? Huntington fucking Beach. Okay? Yeah. Try being black in Huntington Beach. Experience that experience for a second and then come back to me. Okay? The random suburb is not making laws? What? It doesn't matter. The laws itself are like either completely fucking symbolic or just like nuking education and trying to down the line create or reinforce a white supremacist superstructure that they're designing for that already exists, by the way, but they're just like trying to beef that up. The worst impact of like Ron DeSantis's bills here are going to be years ahead. Like they're gonna come back in a couple years. That's when you're gonna actually start seeing it. When they're just like hyper focusing on a very whitewashed understanding of American history. Anyway. The difference between overt and covert racism in Florida, not just Miami specifically, are emboldened because DeSantis is actively encouraging racism everywhere is racist, but is not going to get lynched in Connecticut. I could definitely get lynched in Florida. First of all, you absolutely could get lynched in fucking Connecticut. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the United States of America. Depending on how fucking rural of an area that you're in, how white of an area that you're in, you absolutely could be in like, absolutely could experience physical threats or harm. Anyway, let's watch the rest of it.
Identifies, according to the census, as black, the nation 14.2%. More people as a percentage of the population than nationally, now I know it's a broad number, live in Florida. Florida has an unemployment rate that's 2.7%. Miami has an unemployment rate that's 1.7%. When you start looking at the numbers, when you start looking at the no state income tax, when you start looking at the facts, and yes, are there poorer areas in Florida? Yes, there are. Some poor neighborhoods like Liberty City in Miami and Little Haiti and other areas, but they're doing much better. Their money goes further. They have better potential to address the issues of poverty. That's what matters. The NAACP, and I'm going to reference something for the audience to look up, Manning Johnson's farewell speech, and how he talks about the NAACP in the 1960s, and that they are not for, as he put it, the colored people, that they're all about their money, which in a sense, reflects what Booker T. Washington said, that there are a certain group of race problem solvers who don't want the patient to get well. Again, paraphrasing, but they live off of this. They feed off of this. They collect money from black, white, anyone else, organizations, institutions, and they go out and they push this because it keeps them mildly relevant. Fact is that if you go into some of these areas, and I do, they're not looking to the NAACP to show up because they're not showing up on a daily basis.
Interesting. DeSantis, obviously the governor there in Florida. Here's what he previously said about this advisory.
What a joke.
It's like one of those things where the NAACP plays its role, right? As like a liberal institution, and then you know, Republicans just turn around and say this is crazy. Battle lines are drawn. It's unproductive, and it gets nothing done regardless. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what else to say.
What a joke. Yeah, we'll see how effective that is. It's ridiculous, and we're proud to be leading the nation in tourism. I think we've led it for many years in a row now. It's a pure stunt. And fine, if you want to waste your time on a stunt, that's fine. Look, I get, but I'm not wasting my time on your stunts.
Will this impact tourism one iota in the state of Florida?
Actually, tourism has increased in Florida over the last year to 2 years. When you look at the numbers, and believe me, I see the traffic. I see more out-of-state license plates.
Okay, this is like, I mean, they're not wrong, you know what I mean? And plenty of black people travel to Florida as well, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. So I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about.
They're either moving there or going there. Heck, they're coming from Canada. Miami's full of Canadians who come down there. And people are going to Florida, one, because there was no COVID lockdown and restrictions. We all survived. Imagine that. I'm right here. I never had it, thank God. But the point is, people are going there. And they're not just going there for woke Disney that is now figured out that it's not.
Yeah, totally, dude. That's not what they're going down there for. Are you fucking insane? No, that's the only reason why people are traveling there. Like, there's two reasons that people go to Florida. Miami and fucking, I guess fishing too. Someone was saying fishing in the chat. But, like, it's Miami and Disney, okay? Disney number one, Miami number two. It's ridiculous.
Economically
I gotta
sound
take,
for them to
Kai
expand when their company's contracting. That's another false story, by the way. Disney's not, it's not because of DeSantis, it's business,
Yeah,
right?
Cheryl pointed that out.
Yeah, the companies. So people are there. They're going to Florida. And they can't deny those facts. As far as the DEI, thank you, because I've got some of the books and I've ordered these books to go through them that they wanted to teach in schools. I don't care what state you're in, your kids should not be indoctrinated into a way of thought. They should be taught to think critically, how to think for themselves, not what to think.
Yeah, this is clearly just obviously a push on DeSantis, too, with what he's doing. But people clearly like it in Florida. So
the voting, look at the voting.
Exactly.
It's changed phenomenally.
Exactly. And we have to get to this. The University of Minnesota is facing backlash over a taxpayer-funded summer research program that is reserved for only non-white applicants. So it's advertised as, quote, an intensive 10-week summer program in which undergraduate students of color work full-time with a faculty mentor on a research project. You know, David, how are they getting away with this?
How are they? In America today, where we actually passed a law to get rid of segregation, they've instituted. Now, this is the hard bigotry of no expectations. They're telling me, black people, non-white people, to apply their logic to it, that you literally cannot get ahead without a suppression of another group of people. And by the way, you're not getting a ton of money. Your $6,000 is a lot of money, especially in the Biden economy. Any money's a lot of money in that sense. But this really is hard.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck. This is so stupid. I mean, this is just straight unfiltered brain rot at this point. The Panhandle is the Alabama playground. Don't forget Panama City Beach. I try to forget Panama City Beach regularly, okay? It's one of the places that I try to forget all the time. I have been there. It is probably the worst place. I'm not going to lie. Panama City Beach might be straight up, pound for pound, the worst fucking place in Florida. And I've been all around Florida, let me tell you, okay? There's some real Alabama-ass places in Florida. Oh, fuck, man. PCB is so bad. Worse than Tampa? Oh, are you kidding me? Dude, Tampa is a beacon of prosperity in comparison to Panama City Beach. What the fuck? Dude, it's not even a comparison. There is no comparison to be made. Panama City Beach is one of the grossest places on the planet. Straight up. Used to live in PCB as a hick town. Oh, yeah. Oh, it is. What about Tallahassee? It's pretty bad, too. Number 3, Fort Lauderdale's keeping college spring break alive. Fort Lauderdale is all right. They got some, you know, its proximity to Miami makes up for anything else. And it's got good strip clubs, too. I mean, I haven't been back in a long-ass time, but... Thoughts on Broward? I mean, when you get to like Hialeah, Broward, and other areas, like then you're talking about straight up, purposefully left behind communities. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. Every time I say Hialeah, motherfuckers go Hialeah. No, man, Hialeah. God, you guys are the whitest people on the planet. Too much Zelda. Rare Hialeah mentioned times 2. I know. Well, we're talking about Miami and Florida and shit, so. I'm saying it right. I know. People just have never heard that before. Anyway. But yeah, the Florida Travel Advisory situation is just like, it's just, it is what it is. I don't know what to say about it other than it's just kind of bullshit. But it's nowhere near as big of a bullshit as like Ron DeSantis' actions that created it, obviously, that created the travel advisory. It's just a way to implement political pressure. Will it be successful? I don't think so, but I mean, here's some more details.
The NAACP has issued a travel warning for Florida, calling the policies of Governor Ron DeSantis hostile to minority communities. As CBS 2's Naveen Dhaliwal reports, it comes just days before Governor DeSantis is expected to announce his run for president.
Wait, did I fucking forget to run the top of the hour ad break, by the way? That's crazy. Oh my God. God, I'm not on it today, dude. I've fallen off. I've fallen off big time. My brain is just doo-doo. I apologize. What is this? Not a big sports fan, but this is fucking insane. Yeah, we'll look at that in a minute. Hold on. Let's finish this. My brain is not working, but hey, listen, the top of the hour ad break will be working for you unless you have subscribed for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, and therefore will no longer see the top of the hour ad break. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
A warning for those traveling to the Sunshine State ahead of Memorial Day weekend after Governor Ron DeSantis' policies clashed with the NAACP.
DEI more appropriately stands for discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination, and that has no place in our public institutions.
It's words like these that are causing an uproar, and now the governor's actions, the NAACP says, only means Florida has become, quote, hostile to Black Americans and is in direct conflict with the democratic ideals that our union was founded upon. Political expert Basil Smikle.
The NAACP is saying that the state does not support you, does not support the care and concern that you have for your family or your future.
Just last week, Fort Myers high school students walked out of class in protest of the governor's plans to eliminate diversity programs. Now the NAACP is fighting back after Governor DeSantis rejected access to AP African American Studies in colleges.
Being able to learn history is so important so that we don't repeat it.
Experts say the governor's agenda could have repercussions.
He's doing it in a way that we haven't seen a governor use that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's psychotic. This is what's like getting lost in the sauce in this conversation. But like, this shit is insane. It's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know what else to say about it other than it's just completely mind-boggling. What? Check Reddit. Racism is to lollicons or pedophiles for Americans? What? What are you saying? Never tell me to check Reddit, dude. I think that's why they did it, to bring attention to it. Yeah.
Power in a very long time. The sports venues, the concert venues, will they lose economic support because they've lost African American support as a result of this movement?
And as the anger flares, local mayors are trying to reduce the divide, tweeting, "Everyone is always welcome, and diversity and inclusion are central to what makes Tampa." All of this comes as Governor DeSantis is gearing up to announce his run for president as early as this week.
The long-term impact is both economic and political, in the hopes that this move can actually reshape the politics of the state in the long run.
The League of United Latin American Citizens and Florida's largest LGBTQ civil rights group, Equality Florida, have also issued travel warnings for the state. We reached out to Governor DeSantis' office
Well, the
for comment,
NAACP
but did not hear back.
So this is a newer version of this. Here's some Ron DeSantis remarks on it.
Republican governor is deriding the advisory as a, quote, stunt. But the NAACP claims Governor DeSantis is attempting to erase Black history and restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
I mean, he's just flubbing like left and right. You know what I mean? He's just fucking up left and right. Obviously, invoking white supremacist values is very, very old school. I mean, it's tried and true. It's probably the best exit ramp he has. Like, out of all the things that he's done, like harming businesses actually harms capital, right? Like harming businesses by eviscerating the undocumented labor force, by attacking the businesses and like charging them $10K a head. That's legitimately going to backfire on him. Okay. The Florida battle that he's engaged in makes him look bad, makes it look like he's a Republican guy who's like trying to regulate businesses. Again, that's short-sighted. That will fucking blow up in his face. The anti-trans stuff is also wild, so wild that like it basically brings out all the most unhinged, like people that feel comfortable operating out in open against trans people, against like queer children. And it's also like book burnings, basically like the modern version of like book burnings and whatnot. And a lot of stuff that is just annoying to the average moderate. But if there's one thing that, unfortunately, in the United States of America, that has been the most tried and true version of bigotry, it's anti-Black white supremacist attitudes. Okay? So the anti-CRT measure probably is the only one out of all of the measures that he's implemented, out of all the measures that he's like pushed for. That's the only one that actually doesn't hurt him nationally. And that is because, and that's kind of at the heart of the argument that I was making earlier, because everyone in the United States of America has, in some way, shape, or form, whether intentionally or unintentionally, been propagandized by anti-Black racial agitation. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. It's a fundamental part of American societal development. Everyone in some way, shape, or form has been, everyone in some way, shape, or form has been indoctrinated.
In Florida schools. This comes after he blocked the introduction of an advanced placement course focusing on African American studies in Florida high schools earlier this year.
Joining us now is Derek Johnson. He's the president and CEO of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the organization more commonly known as the NAACP. Derek, it's great to have you back with us. So it's worth noting that both the League of United Latin American Citizens and LGBTQ+ advocacy group Equality Florida previously issued travel advisories for Florida earlier this year. Tell us what was behind the NAACP's decision to take this action now.
Well, we began to look at the pattern and the comments along with the public policy that Governor DeSantis and the Florida legislative body began to enact. And we recognize that it is a direct attack not only on the African American community, but the Latino community, on women, on the LGBT plus QIA community. And that's a problem. He's using his platform as governor to try to promote otherism or racial hate and division. That should not be the case. And America needs to understand, as he prepared to run for the presidency, we cannot stand as a nation another individual occupying the White House with this type of belief system.
Governor DeSantis' press secretary called the travel advisory a, quote, stunt. What's your response to that?
But was it a stunt to block children's experience to learn history holistically? Was it a stunt for him to pursue a course of action to target the LGBT community? Is it not a stunt for all of the things he's doing to try to garner support from a minority of the U.S. population to win the nomination to be the nominee for his political party? All of these things he are doing is the use of race as a tool to promote himself on a platform that's intolerant of diversity, intolerant of people. Everything he's done is a stunt.
Derek, I want to go back to the idea of this travel advisory, because while it is focused politically on the governor, it also has implications for people in hospitality, in all the other sectors, including Black Americans in Florida. Tell us what really went into the decision about a travel advisory, and talk to us about the other instances in which the NAACP has issued a similar travel advisory.
Well, first of all, this was informed by the community who are members in the state of Florida. This has been informed by other Black institutions that we are aligned with. And they're saying that we have to address the problem of direct racial attacks from this governor in a way in which we don't abandon the citizens of Florida, in a way in which we don't allow it to go unaddressed. And so what came out of this was the State Conference of Florida making a decision that it was a problem and something needed to get done, that the members of our national board began to deliberate to determine what was the best approach. And at the end of the day, this struck the right balance to it.
Do I think Ron DeSantis has a legitimate shot at winning? Fuck no. No, not even remotely. That's crazy. Not even a little bit. What the fuck is this, dude? What the fuck? Retro Racer, you're about to get banned super hard for that link, most likely. I can't wait. What is this?
But he's...
Oh, yeah, dude. You're about to get banned for a day at least. I would have given you a week off. Don't ever fucking come in here with some fucking drama baiting ass, dumbass clips like that ever again. Come on, dog. We're in the middle of news coverage, and you're over here being like, oh, apparently you're afraid of larger content creators, even though you spent an hour criticizing Charlie. Like, come on. There's drama. There's drama. You don't want to fucking, you don't want that.
Ensure that if individuals or organizations had to go to Florida, to work with local community groups within the African American community so we can address this question, while at the exact same time, if you don't have to go to Florida, don't go. What he has done to Disney is atrocious in his way to attack the LGBT community. What he is doing is using the bully pulpit of the governor's office to promote a personal interest in becoming president by appealing to the lowest common denominator. And we cannot stand for that as both undemocratic and un-American.
So, Derek, I wonder from your perspective, what would need to happen in the state of Florida for the NAACP to pull back its travel advisory?
But we are clear, this happened as a result of an election. This probably will be in place because you have a number of policymakers who make up the legislative body who agree with Governor DeSantis. So we're going to be preparing now for the next election cycle. That is the reality of our democracy. You settle differences at the ballot box. In between the election cycle, if there are policies that can be harmful or cause harm, we must address by any means we can. And this is one of the means we're saying to travelers to the state of Florida who happen to be African-American, LGBTQ women, traveler beware, because this state, this leadership is hostile to our interests, to our existence.
NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson, always appreciate when you join us here at CBS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we figured it out at this point. Like, I mean, little Rhonda is speaking to a national Republican audience, and he's trying desperately to like gain momentum, but ultimately he is so pathetically uncharismatic that no matter what his policy positions are, no matter how much he beefs them up, I feel as though it is not going to yield any kind of significant success for him. So on that note, let's get started on Little Rhonda. Why am I talking about Little Rhonda? Well, because Little Rhonda is supposedly going to announce that he is running for president this week, actually. So let's take a look.